Greenwood from Greenwood, Louisiana in 27. Looks like Brad Beasley's inside of 4 in the 0-3. Neil Kemp sits second in points. He's in driving the number 13 Outlaw tonight for Jeff Hammett. The 19 is Gary Lipscomb, sponsored by Barton Glass and Cook and Bordering. And car number 19 is out of Blanchard, Louisiana, the M50. And we roll off into one of their 3 wide for second on the start. Perry gets the advantage as Gailey fades back and they go 3 wide and flank him to the in and outs down the back straightaway on the opening lap here at Boothill tonight. Into 3. It's all Bo Perry off of turn number 4 with the race lead, but here comes Cody White. White going to mount a charge. 22W going to work on 12 into 1. Opening heat of the night presented by RaceOnTexas.com. Every thrill and spill and every burn and turn on demand on Race on Texas for your viewing pleasure in high definition with announcer audio at any time during out the week as they roll through 3. White rolling the hub, rolling it well. Comes in back to the Greenwood over the night with some confidence after picking up some last month. Again, winning that lucky draw race for the King of the Hill. And held back some good cars that night to get the job done as they're for the race lead. It's 22W Cody White trying to dispose of the 12 car. Again, 7 wins this season for Bo Perry. Ran into some bad luck last night down in Manny, Louisiana at the Showtime Speedway. Been working hard, he and his father Glenn, all day on that race car in their shop over there in Bossier City to get it ready to go tonight. And it is equally as impressive as White, who continues to give him hell around the bottom of the racetrack. Setting sights into 3, neck and neck. No clear advantage on the 12 or the 22 as they continue to wage war for the top spot here at the hill tonight. Perry will try to use some of that outside line momentum to his advantage, just not quite enough to contend with the quicker lane around the Boothill Speedway right now as the 22W officially throws the 12 into his hip pocket and sidesteps him for the race lead. If White's smart, he'll stay right where he's at on the racetrack as it's proven to be lethal to this point. The son of Benji White, he's a smart racer using a lesson learned from his father, Benji White, who won a lot of pure stock races here in that former 49W pure stock in the 2000s. Down the back straightaway, White trying to fend off Perry, who's trying to find another quick line around the Boothill Speedway to this point, and we're working down to 2 laps to go. And Josh Greenwald trying to come on strong and throw his hat into the ring and become a player here. It'll be 1.5 when they meet the midpoint of the back straightaway. Perry's trying to mount a charge now late. Bo Perry able to send the 12 car off a little bit deeper off into the corner that time. Drove it in deep. He sold it cheap off of exit. So 12 car just losing a little bit of momentum off of exit as 22 just getting really good drive up off the corners tonight. And it's all Cody White all the time. Final time down the back straightaway with his crosshairs down for 3 and 4 for the final time. Cody White could be looking at his first career victory tonight at Boot Hill. After that lucky draw winner, like I mentioned, Cody White wins heat race number 1 presented by RaceOnTexas.com. And follows car number 17 to the outside of him, Austin DuPont, making his second career start tonight in the factory stocks. Bubba McEachern, the hero in the 0, and the Trent Foxworth Welding and Fabrication, Marcellus Motorsports number 0. And Tony the Tiger, Tony Lindsay and Bubba McEachern got squeezed on the front straightaway by the 57 of DuPont. And McEachern, hoping they don't have a whole lot of damage on that 0 car as they roll through 3 and 4 for the first time in heat number 2 of the night here at Boot Hill. It's 34 Junior of Josh Daugherty out front, taking the blue up underneath the flag stand with the race lead. The old Ford barking like a big dog again on his second consecutive Saturday night of action. But Cody Myers last week, it's always fun when you end a Saturday night when one driver in second may have felt like he had a few more laps, he could have done something. The case last Saturday night being Josh Daugherty getting reeled in late, but the 55M of Myers, who wages war with the 5 of Lopez, who ran out of time. And he just got relegated to 3rd, and he may go back to 4th as Duos takes advantage, and he'll try to go to 3rd. And now McEachern now, the top 5 underneath Grandma's quilt. They roll off of 4. Myers fits to the outside. They're 3 wide off of 4 for 3rd. Still 3 wide into 1 and 2. What's going to give the cheese and the cracker right now is the 17 to Dylan Duos, and he ain't scared. On the throttle, Duos looking good tonight here at Boot Hill. Oh, and the one that'll be from the in-house to the outhouse. Man, Cody Myers having some tough luck in this one. Been at the wrong place at the wrong time, a victim of circumstance. 55M sliding backwards, as not typically the case for Myers here at Boot Hill. And so Ricky Ingles in car number 81, or number 5 car. It is certainly looking like Ingles as they roll off of 4. Jason Ingles set quick time in this car at the King of the Hill event, and they roll into 1. Here comes Ricky Ingles for the race lead. Ingles, the winningest driver at Boot Hill a season ago with 5 total victories, is Bubba McEachern. Something about this laser racing chassis that works good for him. He was back to 5th early in this one, and he's working on Daugherty now for the race lead. Flanked to the in and outs of the quarters of the 34 Junior for the top spot with 2 laps to go. Rolling into 1. Here comes Bubba. Bubba nearly got squeezed on the opening lap by Austin DuPont, and it did not phase him. Went back to work quickly and punched the time clock. He brought his stamps. He'll send it down to the inside of the 34 Junior for the race lead. This time as the white flag is coming out. Could it be Ingles? Will it be McEachern, or will Daugherty hold on to lead to all 8 of them that matter the most tonight? And the one to find out who sits on the outside front row tonight in the main event. We know it'll be Cody White on the front row. Who's going to join him? Here comes McEachern for the final time in an absolute Donnybrook special in heat race number 2. Off of 4, drag racing to the line. Daugherty going to hold off and win it in 34 Junior. In a stellar second factory stock heat of the night. Little John Tuggle out of Bossier City, Louisiana, former track champion here, outside of number 2, and the number 8 car. He's out of Bossier City. The 11 is Dusty Keith. The 10 is Todd Clampett from Henderson, Texas. It's the last one, right? Oh, and Jody Davidson going for a scenic route, and he is able to hold on to it. Barely tags the retaining heat of the night, and all cars do transfer to the main events. How the cars finish is how they'll line up accordingly in tonight's main event. So the 68 of James Martin out of Wascom, Texas, is going to be up to him to get on the throttle, and he will off of 4. They're 4 wide there just for a matter of moments. And a much better start for Davidson as 68 shows smoke into 1. Won't halt his progress anyway. He's got the 8 car, Little John, breathing down his neck. That 2019 Outlaw chassis for Little John Tuggle. Could tonight be the night that Tuggle, who is one of the longtime dominant forces in this division since it began in the early 2000s, is it tonight for him to shake off all the bad luck that he's endured? Tuggle jumps out front with the race lead, but Davidson looking tough around the middle lane of the racetrack. He puts the 68 back to 3rd as Keith working on him for 3rd. Keith in 11 going to roll the bottom to the inside of Wascom and put him back to 4th now. Down the front straightaway in the 1, it's Little John Tuggle. With the family tradition alligator bar at the top of the race car on the roof of the 8. He's had different numbers this season, but I think he feels pretty good about the 8 now. As Tuggle from 75 to 1, 75 to 8 to 1. Now in the 8 car again. Tuggle leading by about a car length. Dusty Keith coming on. Dusty Keith cutting into the advantage for Little John. And Dusty Keith showing some strength tonight. Down the back straightaway from 5th to the race lead. He'll dive it in and try to throw a slide jump through 3 and 4. He does it. Wow. And Dusty... yeah. And that's why you don't pump your fist, folks, is because you get a little too cocky and then you go right back to 2nd for the race. As Tuggle says, I don't know if I can deal with that too much. The veteran racer, Little John Tuggle, says, I don't know about that. But Dusty Keith says, look, I got to make it happen now. He'll take the race lead back by half of a nose into 1. I'm impressed with Dusty Keith, though. He'll slide across the racetrack, across the nose of the 8 car. He'll turn down, back underneath. One slider deserves another. The 8 of Little John Tuggle says, thank you, sir. May I have another? Into turn number 3. Tuggle, though, not enough, as he may have a flat on the 8 car. He does. And the Heartbreak Hotel strikes again for car number 8 out of Bossier City. And Davidson going to be smelling blood in the water as the 8 car went from the bottom shelf, from the basement up top shelf to the roof. He about ended up at the Rockin' on the Red rooftop party that time. The 11 of Dusty Keith looking good, though, tonight. The car's got plenty of straightaway speed. He got a little bit of a push there in the center of 1 and 2, but it ain't hurting him none. As final turn, final time to the checkered flags. Dusty Keith says, put some respect on my name tonight. The 11 fist pumps it at halfway and at the end of this 8-lap affair. So Matthew Thompson of the 154 car tonight in the tribute theme to the late, great Billy Robinson. The 160 is Wild Wayne Barnes. And from Benton, Louisiana, the 160 Lazy 8 is Chase Hatton. And the lights are outward underway. Buddy Baker pilots car number 12 at the tail. So it's going to be Thompson jumping out front to the race lead. Here comes Lazy 8. Been the staple and been the one to beat on a week-to-week basis across the Arklatex here in 2019. Not a racetrack he hasn't conquered this year. As Hatton has turned up the wick. 12 wins this season here in 2019 for the Lazy 8 car, driving for Papa Ray Ingles and the Ingles family. As he will set his sights on the number 154 of Thompson for the race lead. So it's Matthew Thompson out front with a race lead, trying to use lessons from Billy Robinson tonight, as he has got one of the best in this division across the Arklatex. Back here sweating bullets as Hatton could not mount a charge on the 154 of Thompson, who has minded his own business out front from the drop of the green flag, as he'll see 2 to go. Matthew Thompson racing sparingly here the last couple of years, but can prove it time and time again he can get the job done. As he'll come around this time through 3 and 4 for the final time, and Lazy 8 trying to close the gap here for Bobble for the 154 for that time through 3 and 4. White out for Keith Parker, who's still in a sling. Not too bad for a one-arm flagman. Down the back straightaway for the final time into turns 3 and 4. Matthew Thompson leads it from the outside of the front row, and he'll score the victory in commanding fashion. The Billy's AC number 154. Matthew Thompson dominates heat number 1 for the Pro Mods tonight. Second, we'll go to the Lazy 8 to Chase Hatton. And rounding out the field. What number is that? What number is that at the tail?
33D. Yeah, he must be.
So Dylan Jones in the 33D was supposed to be in the first heat race of the night, as Border going to get the advantage right now off of 2 down the back straightaway. Gene Border with some strong runs this year from 13th to 2nd, a 4th, and several top 5 finishes. Finished 2nd here last Saturday night. Gene Border in the 8 car. Finally got that thing, I think, where he wants it, and he'll set his sights down the back straightaway with the race leading car number 8, the Vivian Louisiana Racer. Rolls off of 4, got a little loose there off the exit of 4. 8 car still leads 96 in hot pursuit of Michael Knighton. Michael Knighton trying to reel in Gene Border for the race lead. Gene just a little bit loose, maybe off of exit, but nonetheless, got the 08 car figured out pretty good here towards the tail end of this 2019 season. Washed up the racetrack that time, though. Gene caught a character spot on the racetrack, and 96 going to take advantage to go by for the race lead. Michael Knighton takes advantage of the rare mistake for Gene Border. Border back on the throttle, though, has a challenge now before him. So Border will punch the time clock and go back to work and try to get back what he feels his. And all the while, reeling them in here is Matthew Thompson, or Heath Thompson in the 54. Gene's car just a little bit loose there to the center of the corners. But he'll keep the 96 within striking distance off of 4. Mike Knighton in command. Makes a little bit of a slight bobble that time through 1 and 2. Will not be able to pick up the slack as Border in 8. Into turn number 3. Thompson not able to get close to the back bumper of the 8 of Boyder, as it'll be 2 laps to go this time. It's either going to be 8 or 96 to settle this one. And there went the mistake again to the middle of the corner. Gene just needs to I don't know what he needs to do. He knows. As we roll off of 4, the 96 of Michael Knighton. Knighton into 1 and 2 for the final time in heat number 2 for the Pro Mods tonight here at Boothill. If you want to race, the hill's the place next weekend, the Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship 47th edition. As we roll off of turn number 4, the former open wheel modified ace in his first full season at Pro Mods, Michael Knighton scores it over the 8 car Gene Border tonight in heat number 2. Chris Hennigan driving the number 4 car tonight of Jeffrey Bichet's entry. And the 2 is Jeff Rice in the KTI Bodies number 2. Michael Washburn, last Saturday night's feature race winner here at Boot Hill, and the Arklatex Sheepland Welding Pizza of Connie's Hideaway number 27. They hustle off into 1. Jason Beasley going to get the whole shot over the 4, Chris Hennigan. It'd be a major shot in the arm for the 16 of Beasley if he could hold off the 4 of Chris Hennigan. Hennigan doesn't do a whole lot of Pro Mod racing, but it doesn't matter what it is. If it's got 4 tires and a steering wheel, he can do it. Hennigan having a hard time getting the 4 car corralled as Washburn trying to take advantage in hot pursuit in 27. Here comes Mike Washburn from Shreveport. Hennigan washed up the racetrack there off the exit of corner number 4, opened the door for the 27 who could not walk through the threshold that time. But it's all 16 of Beasley all the time here at Boot Hill in heat race number 3 of the night, as Mike Washburn taking a stab to the inside of the 4, Chris Hennigan for 2nd. Hennigan will turn down the challenge for now, but Washburn will not. He'll take advantage. He'll go to 2nd. Washburn rolling back in tonight at the Boothill Speedway, current point leader this season. Has came home the bridesmaid the past 2 years. As here comes Hennigan fighting back tooth and nail to the outside of the 27 of Mike. After winning here last Saturday night, his 2nd win of the 2019 season. Chris Hennigan, no stranger to victory lane to the Pro Mod class, but he's never won the Pro Mod here at Boothill. He's won several of them at Untitled Speedway, won $1,000 in the Fast Fuel 53 years ago. As they have a hell of a battle brewing for second. Washburn and the 4 of Chris Hennigan. Hustling into 1. Washburn. Oh, and around goes the 4-car Chris Hennigan. Hennigan goes around in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Quite a few of them, folks. He's won over 15 of them here at Boothill, but he hadn't won here in 2 years. Very uncharacteristic of Boucher, but I think he's got Hennigan trying to help him out, get the setup down pat as we get back underway with Beasley out front. Jason Beasley trying to fend them off and hold on for the final few that matter the most. Who's got the baddest hot rod of the bunch in heat race number 3 of the night for the Pro Mods? Beasley on the throttle. Washburn in pursuit. 2 to go. Coleman's around. No harm, no foul. I'll say clean and green, send him to promoter school. Coleman takes the scenic route, and he'll be way out of harm's way. We'll keep the green light on. Beasley washed up a little bit, opens up the door. Washburn smells blood in the water. Here comes the Architect Sheetman Welding McDonald's number 27 of Mike Washburn for the race lead. Down to it for the final time into turns number 3. Will Washburn pull a rabbit out of the hat and give us his best David Blaine? Into 3. He'll not be able to do it. Last Saturday night's winner comes up 1 spot short. Washburn finishes second to the 16 of Beasley. Who's that outside of 2? I can't see. Shit.
Outside of 2?
Yeah. It's Eddie Underwood in car number 4. Sorry. The K1 is Stephen Guidry. Off of 4, we're underway. Okay. Hustling into 1. Oh, and around goes Tupper. Certainly not looking what he was wanting for supper as he'll set up a donut shop down there in 1 and 2. We'll get an original. And it would be cool to see Guidry just turn it around and get himself a good run, if not a victory here tonight. 121, that's Jared Gray's, of course. The lights are out. We're underway here at Boot Hill. 6 cars, 8 laps the distance. Some hungry hounds in this one as they hustle into 1. Spear slides up on the exit of 2, opens up the door for the 20 to drive down underneath. An opening turn slider for 22 Magnum, fired a bullet. No blanks for him. The $5,000 winner of the Battle of Boot Hill drove flawlessly that weekend here to kick off the month of money. Down the back straight with a 22 Maga Spear has been relegated to second as the 20 of Brent Tidwell has turned a curve in his racing career. Brent Tidwell, the last month or 2, is clearly has a lot of confidence, and a lot of the laps that he's made racing in the IMC Red River Modified Tour and an Open Wheel Modified, just driving different styles of cars has certainly made him a very versatile racer, and he has proven time and time again every time he hits the racetrack that he has grown leaps and bounds in this sport here in 2019. Brent Tidwell began his race career back in 2015, and where he took a wild tumble down the front straightaway at Untitled Speedway, and boy, it kind of scared him, and he sat out from behind the cockpit for almost an entire season, but when he's come back, he's chipped away, and boy, he's been pushing the progression, and Brent Tidwell is certainly one of the weekend lethal threats here at Boot Hill and anywhere around the Arcla, Texas. He has thrown the keys on the counter and checked out on this one, as Spear can only watch the 20 car get around the racetrack as good as he'd like to. Spear way up top, but Grandpa keeps the real good bourbon that time, but able to keep the 4 of Eddie Underwood at bay, who rides the same distance behind Spear as the 23 does to the 4 of Underwood. Track position so very crucial here at the Greenwood Oval, and you're seeing just that with the K1 of Guidry, who has a fast race car but just cannot quite find the lane to get around the 23 junior of Cliff Tupper. As the final trip around the quarter mile over here in Greenwood tonight for the 20 of Brent Tidwell, who is absolutely G-O-N-E. Tonight could very well be the night for your current Boothill Speedway point leader, who's been Mr. Consistency this season. Brent Tidwell scores the victory in heat race number 1 in commanding fashion. 22 Magnum of Dylan Spear will finish second over Eddie Underwood in 4. Earth 2 of the night outside. His most recent win here came in May of 2017. It's Rapid Roy Aaron Roy from Red Lake, Texas in car number 35. Cody Tupper in 23. Jody Davidson pilots car number 90. And that's a wild start, but it'll work. Jody Davidson in car 90 tried to take advantage on the very wild start, if you will. Oh, boy, Bowden got out of the throttle, and look at Davison threads the needle, and Tupper trying to take advantage on the bottom side of the racetrack. Sean Graham, Michael King Jr. into the mix. The entire field underneath the quilt into one. Into one. It's all Jody Davison trying to get back to victory lane here. Has not went back to ABC Auto Parts victory lane here since last season. Davison rolls with the race lead over the 35, who's again looking for his first win here at the Boothill Speedway since May of 2017. Set out from the cockpit nearly the entirety of the 2018 season. Speaking of Rapid Roy, Aaron Roy, who ran into bad luck last night at the Texarkana 67 Speedway, where he's won 8 track championships. As Roy, rolling off of 4 with second, being breathed down his neck by the 23 of Cody Tupper. Tupper, a winner here at Boothill a year ago. As Sean Graham, now on his 3rd week now on that Triple X Hitman Designs number. Wow. So Jody Davison out front in car number 90 leads it in commanding fashion. Aaron Roy trying to mount a charge. Spoke of Roy winning here a couple of years ago. His first ever win here, boy, he was fired up in his breakout year. As Roy went to victory lane at 4 different tracks across the Arklatex. And he felt confident anywhere he was able to check in. But again, having a serious back surgery, not racing much in 2018. And he's back in the saddle again, starting to get his confidence back. Aaron Roy opens up the door, though, for 23 of Tupper, who looks to sidestep him into 1. Working down to it into the waning stages of heat race number 2 of the night here at Boothill. As the top 5, or second back to 5th, to Michael King of the 14 Junior. They're all underneath a blanket here. The white flag is out. Jody Davison gone with the win in this one. He should win it barring a mechanical catastrophe. And here comes Michael King to the inside of trouble. Sean Graham. And 35 just broke down the back straightaway. Oh, boy. Sean Graham trying to fit the needle. He does. Walked right through the threshold that was given and off of turn number 4 for the final time. Sean Graham gets the door slammed shut. Michael King Jr. made an impressive Lubin Auto number 69. It's the Marshall Missile, Derek Grigsby. And the winningest driver this season in car number 81 of Ricky Ingles in 81. Lights are out. We're underway for 8 laps. This is Heidi. This is a tough heat. Murderers Row and heat number 3 of the night for the limited modifieds. Down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Who's going to get the whole shot? Mike Parker, to my knowledge, the first time in his race career behind the wheel of a limited modified, and I think he likes a little bit of tread on the tires. He says, oh, so this is what the grip feels about. A longtime factory stock competitor, as Mark Underwood Jr. just drove it off deep. He about ended up at the police station in Greenwood that time. Off of 4 down the boulevard. Mike Parker getting a little loose there to the center of 1 or the middle of the front stretch. And he cannot still get it corralled and wash up the racetrack and allow Bubba Jones and the entire field to go by. From the in-house to the out-house goes car number 15 of Parker. For the race lead, here comes Mark Underwood Jr. Mark Underwood trying to make it understood that he's a bad man, Your Honor. He's a desperate fool in the endless, pitiful ropes. He'll try to take a stab at another his fellow Northeast Louisiana racer. As here comes Ricky Ingles. Wow, what an absolute barn burner of a race. They're all over the Boothill Speedway. What more do you want, race fans? As 21 of Bubba Jones being brought along with the 99 Junior, the 81 of Ingles, and Derek Grigsby right there in the mix. Oh, and Bubba Jones got in hot and heavy. Hot and heavy, and the 69 of Derek Grigsby had nowhere to go. And 21 still sitting stopped in the middle of 1 and 2 and will get caution. Young man who went upside down at Arklatex on the front stretch a couple of weeks ago. Got the F27 car feeling good tonight. It's Austin Storm out front with the lead, but he's got some hungry hounds nipping at his heels. We're back underway off of 4. The winningest driver of Boothill this year going to go 3 wide for the race lead into 1 and 2. Here comes Ricky Ingles. Hello and goodbye. The Walmart special, 2 for the price of 1 for the 3-time winner at Boothill this year. Ricky Ingles jumps out front for the race lead. You might as well sit down and take a seat, everyone. Because he gone. Into 1, Ricky Ingles, 61 years old. I don't know why I have to remind you every week how old he is, because I'm pretty sure that he's as good as he once was and ever was. As Derek Grigsby coming on strong now. Grigsby will take advantage and throw the Rustin Racer of Mark Underwood Jr. into his hip pocket and put him back to 3rd. Grigsby driving a little hot underneath the collar. Trying to work on the 27 of Storm for 2nd. Here comes Underwood back to the inside. Underwood, a hell of a driver in his own respects, into 1. Grigsby, 2 very aggressive racers trying to get around the F27 of Storm, who's doing a fine job of holding them back. Final time, Grigsby feels it. He's going to push the F27 into turn number 3, and he'll go to the outside of the Boothill Speedway. Underwood flanked to his inside. They're 3 wide off of 4. Grigsby pushes up, and he's going to lose. Nope. He's not going to lose that spot by half of a... Four-cylinder heat race number 1 about to be thrown to the history book. It's been all Eddie Brewer, and this one is the 1 car of Mark Wittig trying to run him down. Final turn, final time of the 6th-lap affair, and I think Eddie Brewer's got some problems here as Wittig is running him down, but it won't matter. A feature race winner this season will try to get his 2nd of the year. BC of Atlanta, Texas racer Eddie Brewer wins it. Former Rose Bowl track champion Mark Wittig. You're driving the 0 car, who picked up a win, I think, in his 3rd week back out at Showtime earlier this year. The 199 is Big Mike Hudson, and Little Mike Hudson, and Brittany Graham in the Triple X. So the quick shoe starting at the tail on this one, as Hudson and Graham, boy, they're making all kinds of contact out here. As the 81 of Chris Perkins going to lead off of 4 and look to lead lap 1. He will. Stevie McEachern has trouble. The old Chevy Cobalt for Stevie McEachern. The fun meter's been pegged out on it, and he'll expire the 0 to the infield. So it's Perkins out front in command with a sizable advantage over the F5 of Ben McDuff. The 199 of Hudson working his way to 3rd. Brittany Graham and Little Mike back in the 5th spot. Brittany Graham, the former Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship winner, won that backwards race held by Humphrey Motorsports at Arklatex, that last event in Vivian, and finished in the top 3 of the main event that night for the 4-cylinders as Racing Graham scored his first ever win at Arklatex, the 10-year-old. And to turn number 1, it's still Chris Perkins all the time here at Boot Hill. McDuff now being breathed down his neck by the 199 of Big Mike Hudson. Big Mike Hudson, so Big Mike trying to get everything he can get with only 3 points races left here in this 2019 season. He is your current point leader here at the Hill with 438 points total over the 419 by Eddie Brewer, who just won that previous heat race. So he knows what's at stake here. He's got to contend with the BC of Brewer here the final few weeks, and the white flag is out for Chris Perkins, who is your 3rd place points man. Final time down the back straight with the sights set on turn number 3. Driving the car formerly owned by Dalton Vines, just acquired it this week. Swapping from D1 to 81. Chris Perkins going to win it And heat race number 2 of the night for the 4 cylinders. F5 and McDuff holds off Hudson to finish second. Is that Chase Davis or April? Yeah, Chase Davis in 29D. Couldn't see him. So we're underway off of 4. Chase Davis in the 29D. Last night's winner at at 67 Speedway in Texarkana, Luke Wheaton, car number 32. And the winningest driver in this class overall since it began a couple of years ago is Justin Converse in that C49. It's all Toby Davis looking to leave the first lap. He washed way up the racetrack, and Collier looking to take advantage. And here comes Chase Davis. Chris Collier working to the inside. They're door-to-door for the race lead into turns 1 and 2. Chase Davis going to throw his hat in the ring. Here comes Luke Wheat. Oh, my. Luke Wheat had all the steam he wanted. He went from the outhouse to the in-house, and he got the Walmart special times, too. Just told the entire field to please sit down and take a seat for me, and they have no other choice but to obey him as he throws them into his hip pocket. Hello and goodbye, Luke Wheat, last night's winner at Texarkana. Rolls in the night with some confidence. This young man wasn't able to race the first half of this 2019 season. And guess what? He was told if you don't get your grades up, you can't race. And the kid had to face some adversity to get his grades up to get out here and do something he loves to do. And no better way to hold these children's feet to the fire. Good for his father, who's as good a guy as you'll meet. It makes me happy. But Alton Wheat said, son, you can't race if you don't get your grades up. And he said, you know what, Dad, I'm going to do it. And, boys, he showed back up and showed out. You can pull for a kid like that. Last weekend, matter of fact, he thought he blew the motor coming to the checkered flag. He coasted across. I said, I think he just ran out of gas. And the driver who has been looking for some more luck tonight of Justin Converse from Falk, Arkansas, in the C49, though, is in hot pursuit of Wheat. The pair of Texarkana area racers looking to roll into Louisiana and take their lunch money tonight. Into 3 and 4 for the final time in your final 4-cylinder heat to look to complete all of our heats tonight. Luke Wheat wins it. Fist pumping at the line. He wins in 32. Converse from dead last to second over Collier in the 14, who comes home third. 55M of Cody Myers. 20 laps the distance, ladies and gentlemen. Our third to final points event of the 2019 season. Our first main event of this Saturday night special. In Greenwood, Louisiana, the oldest operating dirt oval in the state of Louisiana, Bubba McEachern got a great start in 0. And, boy, he is hungry for a victory, and he'll lead them off into 1 and 2 for the first time tonight. Dusty Keith just got in hot and heavy, but he's able to hold on to it. Got in a little bit to the 90, some right side romance. Davison got knocked a little cattywampus, no harm, no foul. Keith drives it deep off into the corner, and Davidson going to fit it back to the outside. But it's all Bubba McEachern. He leads the first lap tonight here at Boothill. First name's Bubba. Can't remember middle name, last name McEachern. Down the back straightaway. The youngster who began racing at the age of 12 years old at the old Webster or Champion Park Speedway. Down the front stretch in the 1. Dusty Keith trying to spoil the party and be, oh boy, and they got the announcer's jinx right there in the 1 and 2. The 11 car got it all kinds of loose. No problems as we get a caution early in this factory stock main. Old Debris. Right now, Davidson also has yet to ever score a factory stock win. Bo Perry trying to spoil the party and get his 8th win of the year. Daughtery trying to go back to back. It's going to be a good one tonight. 18 laps to go. We're back underway. Back on the restart, hustling off into turn number 1. Dusty Keith got a little loose there again. Look out, Jody Davidson trying to squeeze out of the guy. Oh, they make a little bit of contact down the back straightaway. Still making contact. Keith, he's loose as a goose, but don't get him started. He'll hold on to her that time, and here comes Bo Perry now. Bringing along the 13, and Neil Kemp along with him. Your opening night winner here in the 13 car. The 34 junior of Daughtery, last Saturday night's winner. I'm telling you right now, it's getting wild, and Bubba McEachern, if he had a rear view, he'd be loving what he sees right now. Each and every time they start to wage war for second on back, McEachern sets sail. Not yet a long green flag run to be tested here on the racetrack tonight to see what very well could happen. But last weekend, we saw that it was not even able to happen to reach lap traffic. As I made a note last weekend, as we were down to the waiting stages of the last weekend's factory stock A main, that Josh Greenwood was the final car at the tail of the lead lap. And I was just speaking of the strength and shows how competitive this class is, as he won 2 races this year and just could not make an advancement last week. As right now, again, out front, it's McEachern leading, dominating around the Boothill Speedway right now. He's feeling very, very confidently about himself. Is Dusty Keith in hot pursuit in second, having a breakout performance run tonight in car number 11. The 90 of Jody Davidson receiving hell from the 12 of Bo Perry back here for third. As the 13 of Neil Kemp puts the pressure on the 12 in the third number 3. Everybody tight rope, top string, hustle, or middle lane hustling right now around the hill. Next weekend, the 47th annual edition of the Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship will come back alive at the Greenwood Oval. After last year, the event was canceled due to precipitation. Not going to happen this year, Lady Luck. We'll see you next Saturday night, Boothill. Off of turn number 4, the 0 of McEachern. We've had a streaky type of season where drivers like to go back-to-back. And I think McEachern would certainly love if he could continue that. Not a bad sequence to get a part of as McEachern leads. He's got about a nearly half a straightaway or more in the 0 car who leads. Just needs to focus on hitting his marks. Blake Marsalis turning the wrenches here in 2019. Third place finish here last Saturday night in the main event. It's 10 laps scored, and it's been Bubba McEachern all the time, leading in the first 10 of this 20-lap affair as he rolls underneath the flags into the one with the 11 of Keith now crossing underneath the line. Keith doing a great job holding on to second. I mentioned earlier during the heat race performance, Dusty Keith says, put a little bit of respect on my name tonight. And we'll do just that, as he has certainly earned it. Into turn number 3, the 11 car. Still rides with the bridesmaids, relegating the 90 of Davidson, who still sits third. Over a 7-time winner this year at 4 different tracks of Bo Perry and the Superior Barn Girl. Laser Chasing House car in 4th. In 5th, it's the 13 of Neil Kemp fending off Ricky Ingles in 5. Ingles driving the Twin City towing. Number 5 for Princeton racer Paul Lopez tonight. Lopez with his second hired Ingles gun of the 2019 season. He had Jason behind the cockpit of the King of the Hill. Daughtery, last Saturday night's winner, relegated back here in front of the 22W of White as they look through the field here, as McEachern may soon approach lap traffic with no harm, no foul. As the 27 of Greenwood behind the 22W. And everybody, again, just tight. This is just a testament to how tough this division is, as you've got Myers, who has had his hands full tonight, surprisingly, with the number 55 M car. And McEachern now working through lap traffic. Look out, Bubba. He's got to be careful. He needs to be a little careful. 38 jumped the cushion, but 0 goes by with no harm and no foul. Bubba McEachern has been long overdue to get back to ABC Auto Parts Victor Lane. And his mother, if she's in attendance tonight, Miss Emily Stone, has got to be sweating bullets. You know, my thoughts and prayers and all the best goes out to Emily, as she is one of the sweetest ladies in this racing family. And kick cancer's ass. I think I see her down there cheering her son on. I love it. Not a lady you'll find that supports and loves her son doing what he loves to do. The passion this sweet lady shows her son on this racetrack. Into 1, McEachern winding the laps down with 5 to go. So the battle back here for the between 90 of Davidson, the 12 of Perry, behind the 11 of Dusty Keith, are all bottled up in lap traffic. As it's just, look, it's going to be McEachern selling to the checkers, but we're going to watch the battle for second on back. Neil Kemp trying to pick up as many spots. Points so very valuable for these points races, and the final 3 that matter the most here to cut off this 2019 campaign. And several of them, and the caution flag will come out on the Boothill Speedway, and that's not what McEachern wanted to see. Make them all proud tonight. The Hot in Louisiana racer has led the first 17 laps and dominated. Can he lead the final 3 that matter the most? McEachern has the best hot rod of the bunch, but can he hold on? We'll find out. We're back underway. The 11 of Keith. Loose as a goose again, but don't get him started. He'll sling it and spin right out in front of the entire field into 1 and 2. The great performance for Dusty Keith goes up in heavy smoke into 1, and we still ain't got caution. He may get it refired. It ain't going to happen. Not sure how many folks remember that, but man, this kind of stuff right here, these late race cautions have to make folks like Miss Emily sweat bullets. We're back underway off of 4, because here comes Bo Perry now. And McEachern bobbled. Here comes the 12 of Bo Perry. Oh boy, the laser chassis house car going to try to steal one late from Bubba McEachern. McEachern cannot be rattled. Bubba hold on to it as they come off of 4 to the 2 lap to go sign off of 4. Down the boulevard into 1. Again, with Blake Marcellus under the wrenches here in 2019. Been a lethal combination with he and this young man who formed the alliance when they were racing for Burton Steve Turnage down the back straightaway in the 3 and 4. His first ever feature race win came here on April the 20th of 2013. And he'll try to get back to victory lane tonight here in 0. McEachern hustles and rolls into 1. The former RaceOnTexas.com Race of Champions winner on the night before the Cajun Cruiser Classic. And here comes Neil Kemp to the outside of the 12 car. Squeezed him, make a little bit of contact. And a final turn to the final time to the checkers. The hero in 0 goes back to victory lane. He'll make it to Heavy Saddle Parts victory lane. Bubba McEachern wins in 0 tonight. Drove a stellar race tonight, folks. When he gets down here to victory lane, when he climbs out, we'll get a round of applause for him here. Been a long overdue victory. Sir. Been a long overdue victory for you as well, Blake. Yes, sir. We'll get ready to talk about this one here in a moment. We'll let Bubba get the head and neck restraint off here, and we'll get the good out of this one. Again, the driver of the Mac Tools, Foxworth Welding and Fabrication, Pro 1 transmission, number 0 from Houghton, Louisiana. He's won at Lone Star now in his career. He's won at Arklatex. He'll win at Boothill again. Bubba McEachern in victory lane. Bubba, it's always nice to look around and see all the great support you have each and every week at this racetrack, man. You're one of the fan favorites, and I know it feels super special to get back here to victory lane. We'll talk a little bit more about the race, but, man, let's just talk about it's got to feel special to be standing right where you're standing right now.
Man, I don't have no other way to describe this. I ain't won since 2016, and this means the world.
I mean, what is it about this particular race car? I mean, this laser race car, you just reacquired it from Burton Steve Turnage. You ran so well in it last year, sparingly throughout 2017 and 18 as well. But, man, it's something about this car. You showed it last weekend in that opening heat, man. This thing's just got speed, but it fits Bubba McEachern's driving style, or seems to anyway.
Man, Glenn Perry builds a badass race car. That's all I can say.
It's got to give you some confidence. Tonight, were you a little nervous there in the late going? You had a couple of cautions there because you know what's happened at this racetrack before. You've been robbed of one, but had to be going in the back of your mind.
Oh, yeah. I sure didn't want to see that caution flag at all. So.
What were you telling yourself? Just make sure you hit your marks and don't make a mistake.
Yes, sir. Don't mess up. And hope like hell I got it.
I'm sure this win means a lot to you. You know, is Mom here tonight?
She's right here.
Okay, there she is. You know, it's got to always be special to win one when Mom's in the house. But, you know, for Blake, man, you guys work so hard, man. It has to feel extra special to get one, you know, for Blake Marcellus, who puts in a lot of work on these race cars as well throughout the week.
Man, without Blake, there ain't no way this car would be here or the other car I drove. He works on the car while I'm at work. You know, he does anything. He's a hell of a guy.
Anybody else in addition you'd like to thank?
All my family, you know, all my crew guys, Mac Tools, D&D Pressure Washing, Marcellus Motorsports, Pro 1 Transmissions, McLeod's Towing, Sky Vacuum Services, Foxworth Welding, let's see, Superior Graphic, Jody Prince, Cody Main at LCC Trucking, and Laser Race Cars, and Jeff Lewis for sure.
This is the first win since the Race of Champions at Arklatex?
This is the first one.
Doesn't seem like. Congratulations, man. You're well long overdue for it. Congratulations tonight, Bubba.
Appreciate it, Zach.
Bubba McEachern scores the win tonight. He stands in ABC Auto Parts victory lane with a well-earned victory tonight. He leads all 20 of them. 160, 20 laps the distance for the Pro Mod main event tonight here at Boot Hill. And we may get a new victor to victory lane. We're about to find out. Lights are out. On demand on Race on Texas. Here we go. Opening lap of the Pro Mod main event in the turn number 3. Lazy had a chase hat trying to get his 13th win of the 2019 season. Hatton going to take a roll down to the inside of the 154 and make a little bit of contact down the back straightaway. Hatton a little aggressive there at the midpoint of the back straightaway. He'll go to the race lead. Chase Hatton and Lazy 8 jumps out front. Lazy 8, Chase Hatton out front, marching to the beat of his own drum, looking for that 13th win of the year again. It's already looking stupid. I'm sorry. That's the biggest moth I've ever seen in my life. Biggest. The Boothill Moths. The Lazy 8 of Chase Hatton, your leader right now here at Boothill. Border to the inside of the 27 of Mike Washburn. We go back green and turn up the wick again. Candles are out. Our candles are getting relit. The party's back started off of 4. Hatton leads him again off of 2 down the back straightaway to 96 of Knight will dispose of the 1 and put him back. Here comes Border now. Gene Border will roll down to the inside of the 154. Gets a little loose there. Border washed up the racetrack. 27 looks to take advantage. He will. At the line, a dead heat. Dead even for 4th. Into 1. Border got a big power run to the outside of the 27 of Washburn, your current Boothill Speedway point leader. Gene Border rolls his way to 4th and 8. Washburn putting the pressure on. Off of 4. Down the front straight of the Lazy 8 still leads. So Hatton's able to march away, but the battle for a second on back to 6 is a good one. Back into 1, we may get a caution maybe for Dylan Jones, we will not. He'll get out of harm's way. So Gene Border appears he's got something looking pretty strong. He's bringing the 4 car, Bechet along with him, and lap traffic about to get pretty hairy for the Lazy 8 of Hatton. Hatton will roll to the top shelf of the Boothill Speedway. Look to the lap traffic. Look out, Chase! Off of 4. So down the back straightaway in the 3 and 4. Michael Knighton has closed the gap on the Lazy 8 of Chase Hatton for the race lead. Can he pull a rabbit out of the hat this time? Down the boulevard into 1. Tick-tock, the race clock goes. Here comes the Nightmare, Michael Knighton, down the back straightaway in the turn number 3. Knighton's got something cooking up top. Hatton does not realize he's there. Better come up the racetrack. We're going to have to bend through more lap traffic here in the waning stages of this one. 96, stepping to the outside of the Boothill Speedway. He's got to run down the back straightaway in the turn number 3. Michael Knighton. He's closed the gap. Smells blood in the water. He'll look to knock onto the back door like a trick-or-treat of the sweet tooth here as we approach Halloween in a couple of months. With a hungry hound any given Saturday night. Lazy 8, been the man with all the biscuits this year, and has fed none of the dogs any of them. Into 3. They'll continue to keep barking at his heels for it. It's all Lazy 8 all the time. Opposite of Lazy. That's a fast 8 into 1. He's 8 up with it into 1. Here comes Knighton in 96. Michael Knighton got a fit to the outside. He's got another run. He'll get the door slammed shut right in front of the face of the one in the back straightaway. Michael Knighton gets the door slammed shut on him off of turn number 4. We got a hell of a pro mod race being brewed tonight with 5 laps to go. 5 laps to go into turn number 1. And it's heating up for the race lead. Michael Knighton up on the wheel tonight. The former Quick Race Car Spring Nationals winner gave himself a mistake that time off the exit of but heavy lap traffic again up in front of your race leader. Where's Hatton going to go, and where is he going to hide? They're 3 lanes wide in a big front. Did they come off of 4? Knighton in hot pursuit. And one of the best pro mod races we've seen at Boothill in the entire 2019 season. It's Vance Coleman washes way up the racetrack, and Hatton just squeezes by. Holy smokes! And 96 keeps him within striking distance. This thing is wild right now. The 96 went higher than Willie Nelson on the cross-country tour that time. That outside line momentum is going to have to work to his advantage, but swung way high wide. As Mark Barnes will become the next victim to get disposed of and put down a lap. As a Lazy 8 had turned up the whip and hit the switch. He felt pressure, and he thrives under it, he says. As right in front of him, one car loops it right in front of him. Holy smokes. This shit is crazy. And the one. It's wild. Lazy 8 to Chase Hatton. Separating himself from the 96 of the Nightmare, Michael Knight now. Who was looking to give the Lazy 8 a bad dream and spoil his party for his 13th win of the season. But he'll roll lap forward to the white flag, this time for veteran flagman Keith Parker. And a doozy. Not a Donnie, but oh, geez. Caution flag is out. .com breakout driver of the year in the Pro Mod ranks. Chase Hatton from DeBerry, Texas. Will put the Mad Hat back on to lead the field to the green flag. We're back underway. Knight makes contact with the front straightaway wall, sends sparks into the green lit sky, and he washed up the racetrack. Here comes Chris Hennigan. Chris Hennigan trying to throw his hat in the ring late. Hennigan will come into the mix now, driving the number 4 car. Oh, and got some contact there thrown on him by the 1 car of Thompson. Washburn will take advantage. Every position valuable for the 27 of Mike Washburn. Will try to get one more spot, and Hennigan is there. Here comes Chris Hennigan to the inside of the 27. Final turn, final time. Ladies and gentlemen, he was your leader. He'll be now your victor again for the 13th time in 2019. The Mad Hatter, Chase Hatton, back to victory lane. It's always special to win at Boothill for, seems like the majority of these drivers out here. It's special for him. Have the Lazy 8 on the side of the car, of course. It's well documented at this point. He's visited victory lane at every racetrack across the Ark of Texas. It's his 13th win of the 2019 season. After coming on really strong at the tail end of 2018 in his open wheel modified, he sold that car. And, of course, old Papa Ray Ingles, you can't turn him down and say no, but he's driving for the 87 of Lazy 8 this year. Give him a hand, race fans. The Mad Hatter, Chase Hatton, your winner in car number 87.
Got to redeem it from last week.
I heard you say Ricky Burke, redemption from last week. Well, first tell us what happened last week. We'll talk about this race in a second.
I just stepped on it. That's all I can say. That's all it was.
I heard, you own up to it, man. This car has been so good this year, man. I think when the driver does his part, I mean, you got a pretty good hot rod.
Oh, definitely. Being over there with legendary racers like Mr. Doug and, Mr. Ricky, he's just as good. Jason and Justin and all them guys, they help me out, set up stuff and trying to calm me down, that's the biggest part. And I can't forget my dad this week. He's been helping me out. He went down, he's with me every week. This is his motor. It's very fortunate, I got a bunch of people helping me,
Absolutely. I will get to the race here in just a second. But what is it to have those guys in your ear over there? How much do you learn throughout the week just working in the IRP stable?
Man, there's so much, not just on racing, just normal stuff on building cars, like Mr. Ricky, he could do a lot of stuff with sheet metal. Yeah. I can tell you that. He's
a pretty talented guy. Let's talk about this race real quick. Michael Knight reeled you in through lap traffic, man. That had to be in the back of your mind. You were cutting through it like a hot knife through butter. But, man, did you feel the pressure from the 96?
Yeah, believe it or not, I kind of heard him, and so I ain't going to lie. I looked over my shoulder, and I seen him, so I tried to cover up the lane there a little bit, and kind of pointed me out in a better lane, and I don't know if I pulled away from him there at the end or not, but I was able to get in front of him and stay in front of him. He's a hell of a driver. I don't know where Washburn was, but I'm sure he was probably right there close.
Final thing, caution comes out. You're looking to come to the checkered flag. You're taking the white, but had to throw it. Border was sitting right there in the middle of 3 and 4. What's going through your mind at that juncture?
Don't step on it this week too.
Good way to end this one. Anybody in addition you want to thank?
Definitely my dad. Mr. Ray every week. This is his stuff. IRP race cars. Can't forget J.R. Baxter with Fox and Olin Shocks. He keeps good stuff under me every week. Everybody goes blank up here,
It happens, man. Congratulations. Well earned. Another deserved victory for you tonight, Chase.
Appreciate it, guys.
RaceOnTexas.com looking to be breakout driver of the year in the Pro Mod ranks this season. It's Chase Hatton scoring another one tonight. His 13th of 2019. Looking to turn up the wick on demand on raceontexas.com on another Saturday night special. Limited model funds, always fun to watch at this racetrack. And if you earn one here, it is not given, it was always earned. For 14 Junior IRP, it's Michael King Jr. from El Dorado, Arkansas. 99, Mark Underwood. We're underway off of turn number 4 here at the hill. Oh boy. The 23 of Cody Tupper trying to get back to Victor Lane for the first time in over a year. 22 Magnum of Spear to the outside, trying to get back to Victor Lane since he won 5,000 here. They head down the boulevard on the third original restart. The fly in the ointment, it appears. Derek Grigsby is just working. Oh, man. Tupper is something not just working with that car tonight. Grigsby's going to look to take advantage. He'll drive deep off into the corner and then stay hugged to the hub. And he'll look to dispose of Tupper. Tupper will not allow it. Hustling back off into 1. It's Dylan Spear right now. Spear nearly jumped the cushion, but he gets back on the throttle and sends his way down the back straightaway with that high side momentum working to his advantage. The John McLemore PTS power plant singing a song underneath the hood of that beast tonight. As Derek Grigsby is rolling the bottom better than anyone to this juncture. He'll look to throw the 81 into his hip pocket. He will for the time being. And he will look to sidestep him officially, and he will off of turn number 2. Grigsby slides up in front off the exit. More contact with Cody Tupper. Hard contact with Tupper. Grigsby, the aggressor, he'll slide it into 3 and 4. One slider deserves another. Right across the nose of 23. And Tupper looks to maybe return the favor into 1. Tupper not able to get there. The Marshall Missile loses one spot to the 81 of Ingles, but he diamonds off the exit of 2 and rockets his way into turn number 3. The Missile from Marshall living up to his moniker and shoots out of a cannon to the inside of 81. 81 too strong, leaves him open for the taking to the outside and walk to the threshold and put Grigsby back to 3rd. Grigsby not done yet though. As while they get the racing harder and harder for 2nd, Spears able to set sail out front in the Buck Crossing Motorsports Texas Fire and Safety. Number 22 Magnum, firing all bullets tonight, no blanks. Of course, finding out this week, or made an announcement yesterday it was, I believe, he and Eric are going to be having a baby. That'd be no better way to park this thing in Victor Lane after a sentimental week, or an exciting week. Into 1, Spear leads. He is rim running the top shelf of this racetrack with reckless abandon. And I've talked to Dylan several times this year where he said, man, I can't believe I've done it. Like when he won Boothill, because Ingles has just been the dominant force. And coming into that weekend, he's just, he had said time and time again that I don't know anyone that's going to be able to contend with that 81. So he was as shocked as anyone. And right now, all being said, because Ingles is in hot pursuit sitting in 2nd, and Spear has to know it in the back of his mind. No lap, or no indication to know how far out front he may be or who could be possibly sitting in 2nd. But if you're racing at Boothill, you have a pretty good indication. Look out, Ricky. Oh my goodness gracious. The 15 of Mike Parker just exited the back straightaway, and everybody gets by unscathed. Last weekend we went caution free here at Boothill. This one we couldn't get started after the first 3, or we had 3 original restarts. But after that, it's been all she's wrote to this point. And it's all Dylan Spear all the time at Boothill. The racetrack he grew up at. And he cut his teeth, began racing in factory stocks back in 2012. He sets his sights down the front boulevard into 1. Dylan Spear from Marshall, Texas. He's getting reeled in, not by yards, not by feet, not by inches. But he's getting reeled in nonetheless. And lap traffic could play a factor here late. Still plenty of laps to go yet at this juncture, as Ingles not quite able to pick up enough slack. He is getting closer. Off the exit of 2, 81 much better. 22 Magnum better off of 4. He'll set his sights back down on the boulevard. The 121 to graze up ahead of the nose of the 22 Magnum for the race lead, or for the lap traffic anyway. 69 back about the same distance behind 81 as 81's behind 22 Magnum. Everybody getting strung out here. Current Boothill point leader, 20 of Brent Tidwell, 1 spot behind the 69. Grigsby needs Tidwell to finish a few spots further behind if he wants to close that gap a little bit more, and 22 Magnum just jumped the cushion. Will not hurt him. He corrals it, and he'll send it into turn number 3 full throat. Lap traffic impeding his progress. Ingles getting closer. Ricky Ingles is getting closer. He smells blood in the water. Talk about a driver who has that killer instinct and knows when he's got to get and take advantage of what he sees. But now he'll put one car of Jared Gray's between he and himself and the nose of the 81 of Ingles. A little bit of breathing room for the Marshall Texan Dylan Spear now with 5 laps to go. And I promise you, folks, if you're looking for battles anywhere else on the racetrack right now. Oh, and he just broke. Dylan Spear just broke off the exit of 2. Dylan Spear just broke off the exit of turn number 2 and maybe scattered a power plant. Pop goes the Weasel. And Heartbreak Coattail, Elvis Presley. And Grigsby in second. He has an outside line, preferred line, restart lane. We'll see what happens. The Marshall Missile lurking. Here we go. We're back underway. Tidwell in 20 there as well. Tidwell got a better restart than 69. And props to my boy Aaron Roy. Rapid Roy. The first name on the Texas Motor Speedway dirt track entry list. Looking to get back in the saddle and race over there in Justin, Texas in a few weeks. Here comes Brent Tidwell. Said it earlier tonight. Could very well be his night. He dominated. We got problems. Michael King Jr., the 4 of Eddie Underwood around. Underwood's around, and he will not get it refired. We'll get a caution here late as the 20 of Tidwell took a stab. Come on, man. All righty, we're going to keep it rolling and strolling, baby. Here comes Brent Tidwell. Oh, boy. We're working down to the last 3 laps of this 20-lap affair, and I'm telling you, folks, I said it earlier tonight, your current Boothill point leader, who has been Mr. Consistency, the model of it, has showed up and showed out again as, oh, my goodness gracious. Okay, we're going to stay green. I'm sorry, there's a lot of confusion. A hell of a race for the race lead. We're going to continue to do it. Into 1, 20, to the inside of the 81 of Rick Ingles. Here comes Brent Tidwell. To the inside, he'll take the top spot and he'll nose ahead, but Ingles' outside line momentum works to his advantage. Neck and neck for the race lead in the turn number 3. The white flag's coming up this time by. Who's it going to be tonight? The spoiler. The 20th Tidwell leads his first lap of the race, that time at the line. Final trip into turns 1 and 2 in a Donnybrook tonight here at the Boothill Speedway. The home of the Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship taking place next Saturday night, 69 degrees. We can look at his chops, hoping something happens. In the 3 and 4 for the final time. Brent Tidwell going to slide up in front, but Rick Ingles outside line momentum. A photo finish, and Brent Tidwell wins his first ever race tonight at Boothill. What an absolute barn burner here tonight at Boothill. Oh, boy. Folks, if you don't like what you just saw, then I'm telling you, you don't like racing too much, do you? A photo finish tonight for Brent Tidwell, who literally pulled a rabbit out of the hat. That was impressive. And a photo finish tonight. Brent Tidwell will score his first ever feature race victory tonight at Boothill. And he got up on the wheel. That was impressive. Eighth different limited modified winner here in 2019. And Brent Tidwell stole one from the winningest driver here at the racetrack all season long, who has 3 victories, of Ricky Ingles. When he gets ready to climb out here in just a moment, race fans, hold your applause till he climbs out and he can hear you. He's getting the head and neck restraint off right now. But out of Harleton, Texas, son of Keith Tidwell, who supports quite a bit in racing, of RKT Operating, and an Ingles Racing Performance chassis built by Jason Ingles and the Superior Graphics Rock and Roll Waterburger Texas Rubber Group. Number 20, your current Boothill Speedway point leader. He has grown by leaps and bounds just the last month of his racing career, and he's been long overdue. Like Jason Ingles said last week, and if you can win at Boothill on any night, you've certainly earned it. Give it up for him racing his first career win here at the Greenwood Overcomes tonight for Brent Tidwell in 20. Brent, let's get over here, man. Let's talk about this one. What switch have you flipped over the last couple of months, man? Just the natural progression of your racing career, man. You've grown by leaps and bounds here the last couple of months, man. I know this feels really special tonight.
Oh yeah, we just got the car running a lot better, and that's about it.
What are you thinking though? Whenever you're racing with Ricky, he's won the most races here all year. I mean, to dispose of him like that, it's got to make it even more special to get your first win here tonight over Ricky.
Oh yeah, Ricky is an amazing driver. I learned a lot from him.
What does it mean to win at this particular racetrack? I know you've been here week in and week out supporting this place. It has to be special to get one as we close out the last couple of races of the year.
Yeah, it's definitely amazing. I'm speechless.
Does it make it any more special, though, as you come in tonight as the point leader? I think a lot of folks looked up and said, well, Brent Tidwell's leading the points at Boothill. But, I mean, that kind of solidifies what you've been able to do here, man. I mean, to lead Derek and so many other great racers here at this racetrack have the points throughout the duration of this year and then cap it off with a win. If you don't win another one, I'd say it's been pretty successful.
Yes, sir.
Man, let's hear about the folks who help you out, Brent.
RKT Operating, Waterburger, Superior, and Texas Rubber Group. And that's about it. Zach and Dad and JoJo and all them, Jason.
For what it's worth, man, I'm proud for you. It's pretty awesome. That was a stellar race. I'm sure that that would be fun to watch on Race on Texas later this week. Congratulations to you, Ben. Well-earned, well-deserved win for you tonight, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
Brent Tidwell scores the win tonight, the Harlton, Texas racer in 20. Mark Wittig in car number 1, the reigning Rose Bowl track champion. The F5 is Ben McDuff. 14 is Chris Collier, the 2-time reigning track champion here. Mike Hudson in the 199, Justin Converse in C49. Ready to go for 15 laps, and this is the final race of the night here at Boot Hill before next weekend's Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship. And kind of a wild start. They're 4 wide for it already. Oh, boy. On demand on raceontexas.com. Mark Whitted drives it deep off into the corner in the 1. Eddie Brewer of Atlanta, Texas, trying to get back on. Eddie Brewer back on the throttle, and we're back underway here off of 4. Not a good restart. I don't know about it. We'll see if that one elects to work or not. It will for the time being. The green stays out. The BC of Eddie Brewer got caught sleeping. Nope, and the caution flag will come out this time. So again, back on the way as Eddie Brewer takes advantage of that time. He jumps out front with the race lead, and we'll get a caution maybe off of 4, and we will. And Brent. The most, we're back underway off of turn number 4. Good restart for Luke Wheat. Here comes Eddie Brewer now back to the inside of the 32. Who took the top spot away. Working down to the final ones that matter the most here. Off of turn number 4. Down the boulevard, they head off into 1. Luke Wheat and Command trying to sweep the weekend. Trying to get a raceontexas.com sweep. Rolling down the back straightaway with his sight set on turn number 3. It's all Luke Wheat all the time, trying to go back-to-back again after his win at 67. The BC of Brewer. Got something brewing here, but 2 laps to go to get the job done. Next time by, down the back straightaway, coming off of 4, he'll be coming to the white flag, Luke Wheat. The kid's back was against the wall. Pop said you better get your grades up like I mentioned earlier. And you better get the speed up because here comes BC of Eddie Brewer with a final ditch effort to throw a Hail Mary into turns 1 and 2. Here comes Eddie Brewer. He's got to run off a 2 down the back straightaway. We just had a photo finishing the limited modified main event. And you could be setting up for another. Here comes Eddie Brewer for the final time. He'll dive into the bottom of the racetrack off before the drag race to the line. And it's going to be a close one at 32. Luke Wheat wins it. And a fantastic win tonight. How about it? We got 2 photo finishes tonight at Boot Hill. And that's why you got to come back here next week for the Louisiana State Championship. We're going to hope for some more of that. Well, the BC of Eddie Brewer threw a Hail Mary into 1 and 2, got a good run down the backstretch, and kept the momentum wound up underneath. So all your main event winners tonight, Bubba McEachern scored his first of the weekend. He won last night at Texarkana 67 Speedway. And of course, Chase Hatton scored his 13th win of the 2019 season earlier in Lazy 8. So congratulations to all the winners. Our final victory lane celebration of the night again. I had to ask him again how old he was. 14 years old, Luke Wheat. So we had a 10-year-old in Victory Lane here a few weeks ago. Toby Davis has been winning races at the age of 11. These youngsters are, I don't want to say they're taking the old guys to school or anything, but they're pretty good. But again, he'll get the RaceOnTexas.com sweep award this weekend for sweeping the 4-cylinder division between Texarkana and here at Boot Hill. 14 years of age, he's a straight A student now on the racetrack as well. Scores to win the night, ladies and gentlemen, here at Boot Hill. Woo! Yeah, you won here before. It's been a little while. You won once here before, but I'll tell you what, man, that's just like last night at 67. You hit your marks each and every time, but Eddie Brewer made it real interesting there coming to the line.
Oh, yeah, it was a good race. Man, all them cautions got me nervous. I thought I was going to break every restart, but it held together pretty good, and I drove it to the finish.
How much is that in the back of your mind? I mean, just to not, mess up one of those restarts.
It lets a load off, really, just being nervous if you're going to mess up or not.
When you finally get going out there, you just get into a rhythm and you can focus on what you need to do?
Yes, sir, and you just got to make your marks.
You did a good job of it again tonight, young man. You'll get the Race on Texas Sweep Award this weekend for sweeping the 4-cylinder division between Texarkana. What a weekend it's been, man. Have you swept a weekend in your young racing career yet?
Not yet, but I'm working on it. Tomorrow we're going to go to Vivian, I'm pretty sure, and hopefully get 3 in a row.
Well, that's pretty good. I guess we won't officially call it a sweep yet, but you swept the first 2 anyway to this juncture. Congratulations, young man. Let's hear about the folks that help you out.
Ricky Wheat, my brother, my mom, my dad, and Tracy Court.
That was pretty awesome. Congratulations. 2 photo finishes tonight, Boot Hill. You're a part of one of them. Well earned, and I know you're happy to be back behind the wheel. You're looking good this weekend.
Thank you.
They'll go for 3 in a row tomorrow night at Arclitech Speedway for the Labor Day Shootout in Vivian, Louisiana. Luke Wheat sweeps the first 2 nights of his racing weekend here on Labor Day.